The deep space research vessel Hyperion drifted silently through the Carina Nebula, its sophisticated sensors probing the cosmic dust for signs of exotic particle formations. Dr. Elena Santos stood at the main observation window, her dark eyes reflecting the swirling purples and blues of the nebula's heart. After 6 months of deep space research, they had yet to make the breakthrough in dark matter detection they'd hoped for. Dr. Santos, the ship's AI, Araya, interrupted her contemplation. I'm detecting unusual energy signatures approximately 2 light minutes from our position. The pattern suggests artificial origin. Elena straightened, fatigue forgotten. Show me the readings. A holographic display materialized before her, showing cascading waves of energy that pulsed with an eerily regular rhythm. These weren't the chaotic emissions of natural phenomena. This was technology, and nothing like humanity had ever encountered. Captain Morrison needs to see this, Elena said, already moving toward the bridge. And get the rest of the science team up here. The Hyperion's bridge was already buzzing with activity when Elena arrived. Captain Sarah Morrison, a veteran of Earth's space exploration program, stood studying a tactical display with her first officer. Dr. Santos, Morrison acknowledged, her gray eyes sharp. Your team's sensors picked up something interesting. Yes, and it's getting more interesting by the second. Elena replied, pulling up her latest readings. The energy signatures are consistent with what we might expect from an advanced propulsion system. But there's more. We're detecting weapons fire. Morrison's expression hardened. First contact during a firefight. Not exactly how humanity hoped to join the galactic community. The tactical display suddenly flared with new contacts. A sleek crystalline vessel burst from what appeared to be a form of FTL travel, pursued by 3 larger ships of obsidian black. The crystalline ship was damaged, trailing what looked like fragments of living crystal. Those readings, Elena gasped, studying her instruments. The crystalline ship, it's not just made of crystal, it's alive. The entire hull is composed of some form of silicon-based biological material. And those other ships are trying to kill it, Morrison stated grimly. ARI, battle stations. I know we're just a research vessel, but I won't stand by and watch a slaughter. The Hyperion's modest defensive systems came online, designed more for deflecting micrometeorites than combat, but better than nothing. The crew moved with practiced efficiency, even though none of them had expected their deep space mission to turn into first contact with not one, but 2 alien species. The crystalline vessel is hailing us, Araya announced. Their communications are unusual, translation matrix adapting. A sound like wind through crystal chimes filled the bridge, resolving slowly into words. Please, sanctuary. The Xeraxians, they destroy all they cannot dominate. Our crystal song must not end. Morrison didn't hesitate. This is Captain Sarah Morrison of the Earth research vessel Hyperion. We offer whatever protection we can provide. The pursuing vessels, the Xeraxians, noticed the Hyperion's presence. A harsh, grating transmission cut through their communications. This is not your concern, primitive vessel. The Mirian crystal singers are our prey. Interfere and be destroyed. Dr. Santos, Morrison said quietly, what can you tell me about their ships? Elena's fingers flew across her console, analyzing every scrap of data their sensors could gather. The Xeraxian vessels appear to use some form of dark energy manipulation for both propulsion and weapons. Their hulls are composed of a material that absorbs nearly all electromagnetic radiation. But there's something interesting. Their weapons seem to operate on a quantum frequency that... She paused, an idea forming. Captain, our dark matter detection array. We could repurpose it. The quantum frequency their weapons operate on is similar to what we've been trying to detect. If we reverse the polarity. Morrison smiled grimly. Do it, and get creative, Doctor. Humanity's first impression on the galactic stage may depend on it. Working frantically, Elena and her team modified their research equipment into makeshift defensive systems. The dark matter detection array, normally used to search for exotic particles, was recalibrated to generate a quantum interference field. The nebula dust collectors, designed to gather cosmic particles, were reprogrammed to create a dispersal cloud of magnetically charged particles. The Ziraxians fired their first shot, a beam of concentrated dark energy that would have torn through normal matter. Instead, it met Alina's quantum interference field and scattered, its energy dissipating harmlessly into space. Impossible. The Ziraxian transmission crackled. Your technology is primitive. Primitive doesn't mean ineffective, Morrison responded, allowing herself a small smile. Dr. Santos, show them what else our primitive technology can do. Alina activated the modified dust collectors. A cloud of magnetically charged nebula particles surrounded the Ziraxian ships. As they tried to fire again, their dark energy weapons interacted with the charged particles, creating feedback loops that disrupted their targeting systems. The Crystal Singers, Alina said suddenly, studying new readings. Their ship, it's not just alive, it's responsive to thought patterns. Captain, if we could link our quantum field to their crystalline matrix. The Marian ship, seeming to understand, moved closer to the Hyperion. Where the two ships' fields intersected, something remarkable happened. The Marian's living crystal technology resonated with the human-generated quantum field, amplifying and transforming it. A shimmering barrier of crystal quantum energy formed between them and the Ziraxian vessels. The Ziraxians fired again, their most powerful weapon yet. The crystal quantum barrier didn't just stop the attack. It absorbed it, redirected it, sent it spiraling back at the attackers in a dazzling display of geometric patterns. Your worlds may be death worlds. The Marian crystal song chimed, but you found life in death, creation in destruction. We see now why the universe guided us to you. The Ziraxian ships, their weapons rendered useless, and their dark energy systems destabilized by the particle cloud, finally retreated. As they vanished back into their FTL corridors, the bridge crew of the Hyperion let out a collective breath. Well, Morrison said, turning to Alina, I'd say that's one way to make first contact. Your research equipment just helped us defend against weapons we'd never seen before. The Crystal Singers, Alina replied, still studying her readings in amazement. Their technology, their biology. It's beyond anything we theorized. But they needed our human creativity, our ability to adapt and repurpose, to survive. The Marian ship pulsed with colors that their sensors interpreted as joy and gratitude. We offer in exchange, their crystal song communicated, our knowledge of the cosmos, our living crystal technology, for your innovation, your adaptability, your unique way of seeing new possibilities in established patterns. Morrison looked at Alina, who nodded enthusiastically. We accept, the captain said. Though I suspect Earth will have quite a few questions about all this. As will the Ziraxians, Alina added more soberly. They'll be back, and next time they'll be better prepared for our primitive solutions. Then we'll just have to be more creative, Morrison replied. Humanity's greatest strength has always been our ability to learn, adapt, and overcome. And now we have allies who quite literally think in entirely new patterns. As the Hyperion and the Marian vessel began their joint journey back to Earth, Alina couldn't help but smile. They'd come looking for dark matter, and instead found something far more valuable. Proof that humanity's greatest assets, creativity, adaptability, and the courage to stand up for others, were truly universal strengths. The nebula's cosmic dust swirled around them, and somewhere out there, the Ziraxians nursed their wounded pride and planned their return. But for now, the first chapter of humanity's emergence onto the galactic stage had been written, not in conquest or submission, but in the best traditions of human scientific ingenuity and moral courage. And this was only the beginning. 3 months after the Hyperion's first contact, Earth's Titan Research Station had transformed into humanity's first joint Xenotechnology Development Center. The massive facility, originally built to study Saturn's largest moon, now hosted dozens of Mirian crystal singers alongside human scientists and engineers. Dr. Elena Santos stood in the central laboratory, watching a Mirian named Resonance Through Storm merge with a modified quantum field generator. The crystalline being's faceted form pulsed with deep blues and violets as it interfaced directly with the human-built device, its consciousness expanding into the quantum realm. "The integration is holding," Elena reported, checking her instruments. "The crystal matrix is successfully amplifying our quantum field by a factor of 10 without destabilizing." Captain Morrison, now heading Earth's defensive technology program, nodded approvingly. "The Xeraxians have hit 3 more independent worlds since our encounter. We need every advantage we can get." "Understanding comes," Resonance Through Storm chimed, its crystal song now familiar to human ears. "Your quantum technology is like a child's first notes, but when harmonized with our crystal song." The generator suddenly pulsed with impossible colors as the quantum field expanded far beyond its designed capabilities. The breakthrough had come when Elena's team realized that Mirian crystal technology wasn't just sophisticated engineering, it was a fundamental reimagining of matter itself. The crystal singers had evolved the ability to manipulate the crystalline structure of reality at its most basic level, but they lacked humanity's talent for practical application and improvisation. "Look at this," Elena said, pulling up a holographic display. "When we combine our quantum field generators with Mirian crystal matrices, we're not just getting amplification. The crystals are actually learning from our technology, adapting their structure to accommodate our more unorthodox approaches." Morrison smiled. "You mean they're learning to think like humans?" "More like they're learning to appreciate chaos." Another Mirian, Harmony in Discord, chimed in. Its crystalline form shimmered with amused golden light. "Your species sees patterns where we see only disorder, finds strength in imperfection where we seek only purity." "It is enlightening." The station's alert system suddenly blared to life. "Multiple Xeraxian signatures detected," the AI announced. 3 vessels on approach vector." "They're earlier than intelligence suggested," Morrison muttered. "Status of the prototype defense system." Elena checked her readings. "The quantum crystal matrix is stable, but we haven't tested it under combat conditions. We don't know if." "Now is the time for innovation, not certainty," Resonance Through Storm chimed, its crystal form pulsing with determined red light. "We will harmonize." The Xeraxian ships dropped out of their dark energy corridors, their obsidian hulls somehow darker than the void of space. They had evolved since the first encounter, their forms now incorporating crystalline elements, a crude attempt to mimic the Mirian technology they coveted. "This is your final warning," the Xeraxian commander transmitted. "Surrender the crystal singers and their technology, or we will reduce this station to its component atoms." Morrison's response was cold. "Humanity doesn't abandon its allies." "Dr. Santos, show them what happens when you combine human chaos with Mirian harmony." Elena activated the prototype defense system. The quantum crystal matrix hummed to life, creating a field that existed simultaneously in normal space and crystalline dimensions. As the Xeraxians fired their dark energy weapons, something remarkable happened. The attacks didn't just dissipate. They were caught in a crystalline web of quantum possibilities. Each beam of destructive energy was captured, its patterns analyzed by the Mirian crystal matrix, then redirected through human-designed quantum channels. "Impossible," the Xeraxian commander transmitted. "You cannot control dark energy with such primitive." "We're not controlling it," Elena replied, understanding blooming as she watched her readings. "We're giving it choices. The quantum field creates multiple possibilities, and the crystal matrix guides the energy toward the most harmonious outcome. It's not about power. It's about finding the path of least resistance." The Xeraxian ships launched a coordinated attack, their weapons synchronized to overwhelm any single point of defense. But the quantum crystal matrix didn't work like conventional shields. Instead, it created a constantly shifting lattice of possibilities, each point reinforcing the others in a pattern that seemed random but contained deep underlying order. The harmony spirals. Resonance through storm chimed excitedly. Like your Earth mathematics, the Fibonacci sequence, but in quantum dimensions. The Xeraxians' attack foundered against this new form of defense, their dark energy weapons turned aside not by superior force, but by an endless dance of probability and crystalline resonance. When they tried to adjust, to find a weakness in the pattern, they discovered that the pattern had already changed, evolved, found new configurations that even the Mirians hadn't thought possible. Your species continues to surprise. Harmony and discord observed as the Xeraxian ships retreated. You've taught our crystals to dance. Elena laughed. And you've taught us that sometimes the best defense isn't a stronger wall, but a more elegant solution. She studied the readings from the quantum crystal matrix. Look at these patterns. The system is still evolving, finding new configurations we never programmed. Because you showed us that imperfection can be strength, resonance through storm chimed. Our crystals always sought perfect symmetry, perfect harmony. You showed us that asymmetry, controlled chaos, can create something even stronger. Morrison watched the last traces of the Xeraxian ships vanish into their dark energy corridors. They'll be back with new tactics. And we'll be ready with new possibilities, Elena replied. Every attack teaches the quantum crystal matrix new patterns. It's not just a defense system anymore. It's a collaboration between human innovation and Mirian harmony. As the alert status returned to normal, Elena couldn't help but marvel at the holographic display showing the quantum crystal matrix's evolving patterns. In trying to defend against the Xeraxians, they had created something entirely new, a technology that was neither human nor Mirian, but a true synthesis of both species' greatest strengths. The Crystal Singers had taught humanity to see the underlying patterns of reality, while humanity had taught the Mirians that those patterns could be bent, reshaped, and reimagined. Together, they were writing new laws of physics, one quantum probability at a time. And somewhere in the void, the Xeraxians were learning a harsh lesson, that true strength comes not from domination, but from the willingness to harmonize with others, to find strength in difference rather than conformity. The next battle was inevitable, but with each encounter, the unlikely alliance of humans and Mirians grew stronger, their combined technology more elegant, their shared destiny more certain. The gas giant Kepler-16 bits loomed massive against the darkness of space, its swirling storms providing cover for the largest fleet of Xeraxian warships ever assembled. Over 300 vessels of polished obsidian hung in the shadow of the gas giant, their dark energy weapons charged and ready. Aboard the transformed research vessel Hyperion, now the flagship of humanity's defensive fleet, Dr. Elena Santos studied the tactical display with growing concern. They've adapted their whole configuration, she reported. The crystalline elements they've incorporated are more sophisticated than before. Captain Morrison stood at the command station, her expression grim but determined. The combined human-Mirian fleet numbered only 50 ships, but each vessel represented the pinnacle of their collaborative achievement. The Hyperion itself had evolved far beyond its original design, its hull now a seamless blend of human engineering and living Mirian crystal. Their numbers matter less than their understanding. Resonance through storm chimed from its integration chamber, where the Mirian's crystalline form interfaced directly with the ship's systems. They copy our forms but cannot grasp our harmony. The Xeraxian commander's transmission cut through the tense atmosphere. Your resistance ends today. The Crystal Singers belong to us, and humanity will learn its place in the galaxy. Morrison's response was calm. Elena, is the quantum resonance field ready? Synchronized across all 50 ships, Elena confirmed. The crystal matrices are aligned and responsive. But there's something else. She frowned at her readings. The gas giant's magnetic field. It's creating unusual quantum fluctuations. A weakness to exploit? Morrison asked. No, Elena's eyes widened with sudden inspiration. An opportunity. Captain, remember how we first defeated them? Using the nebula particles to disrupt their weapons. Understanding dawned in Morrison's eyes. And now we have a whole gas giant's worth of particles to work with. Send the data to the fleet. Tell them to prepare for Protocol Stormbreaker. The Xeraxian fleet moved first, their ships arranging themselves in an attack formation that would have been beautiful if it wasn't so lethal. Their first volley of dark energy weapons lanced out, expecting to overwhelm the defenders through sheer force. Instead, the human Mirian ships performed what appeared to be a chaotic scatter, breaking formation in ways that defied conventional tactical logic. But there was method in their madness. Each ship's movement contributed to a larger pattern, their quantum crystal matrices working in concert to create something unprecedented. Now, Morrison ordered. Elena activated the refined quantum resonance field. Every human Mirian ship began to pulse with geometric patterns of light, their crystal matrices singing in harmony. The quantum field expanded, not to defend against the Xeraxian weapons, but to reach into the gas giant's turbulent atmosphere. Impossible. The Xeraxian commander transmitted as their sensors registered what was happening. You cannot control a gas giant's magnetic field. The forces involved. We're not controlling it, Elena replied, watching in awe as her calculations proved correct. We're asking it to dance. The quantum crystal matrices of the Allied fleet created a resonance pattern that synchronized with the gas giant's natural magnetic field. Charged particles from the planet's atmosphere began to flow along the quantum pathways, forming streams of ionized matter that twisted through space like living things. The Xeraxian fleet's dark energy weapons fired again, but now each beam had to pass through clouds of magnetically charged particles. The interaction created cascading quantum effects that the Mirian crystals could predict and manipulate. Energy meant for destruction became fuel for the growing quantum storm. The harmony expands, resonance through storm chimed excitedly. The planet itself joins our song. The space around Kepler 16 bits had become an orchestrated chaos of quantum effects and magnetic storms. The Xeraxian ships found their sophisticated targeting systems confused by multiple layers of interference, quantum, magnetic, and crystalline. Their attempts to compensate only fed more energy into the system. You cannot defeat us with storms, the Xeraxian commander snarled. We are the apex predators of space. No, Morrison replied. You're just the ones who never learned to listen to the music of the universe. She nodded to Elena. Show them what happens when you deny harmony. The quantum storm reached its peak. Every human Mirian ship pulsed in perfect synchronization, their crystal matrices channeling the combined energy of the gas giant's magnetic field and the Xeraxians' own weapons. Space itself seemed to shimmer as quantum possibilities collapsed into a single, perfect moment. The Xeraxian fleet's dark energy systems overloaded all at once, their crystalline hull components resonating at frequencies they were never designed to handle. Ships began to break apart, not from any direct attack, but from their own energy being turned back upon them by the quantum storm. This is your final warning, Morrison transmitted to the remaining Xeraxian vessels. You can either learn to coexist with other species, or you can keep fighting the very forces of nature itself. Choose wisely. The Xeraxian retreat was chaotic but complete. As their ships fled through their dark energy corridors, Elena studied the aftermath of the battle. The quantum storm was already dissipating, its energy returning naturally to the gas giant's magnetic field. The patterns, she marveled, reviewing the data. The way the quantum fields interacted with the magnetic storms. We couldn't have planned this without both human intuition and Mirian crystal harmony. And that's what they'll never understand, Morrison said, watching the last enemy ships disappear. True strength isn't about domination. It's about finding the hidden connections, the underlying rhythms that bind everything together. The universe itself rejects their discord. Resonance through storm chimes softly. Perhaps now they will begin to learn. As the combined fleet regrouped, Elena couldn't help but feel that they had demonstrated something profound today. Not just a military victory, but a validation of everything the human-Mirian alliance stood for. The idea that different species could come together and create something greater than themselves. The gas giant continued its eternal dance around its star, its storms now holding the echo of a symphony that had united the forces of nature with the best of two very different civilizations. And in that harmony, perhaps, lay the true future of galactic civilization. The observation deck of Earth's Lunar Defense Station offered a stunning view of humanity's homeworld, but Dr. Elena Santos' attention was fixed on the holographic display before her. 6 months had passed since the Battle of Kepler 16 bits, and the Ziraxians had changed their tactics entirely. Another hit-and-run attack, she reported to the assembled human and Mirian leaders. This time, at the Proxima Centauri colony. They're not trying to overwhelm us anymore. They're probing, testing, learning. Captain Morrison, recently promoted to admiral, studied the attack patterns. They're evolving faster than we anticipated. Each encounter teaches them something new about our defensive capabilities. As it should, harmony in discord chimed, its crystalline form shimmering with complex patterns. Evolution is the universe's response to stagnation. Even our enemies must grow. The latest intelligence reports painted a concerning picture. The Ziraxians had begun incorporating quantum principles into their dark energy weapons, attempting to pierce the quantum crystal defenses that had proven so effective. Their ships now carried sophisticated sensor arrays designed to detect and analyze the harmonic patterns of Mirian crystal technology. Look at this. Elena highlighted a section of the data. They're not just copying our technology anymore. They're developing counter-frequencies, trying to create destructive interference patterns in our quantum fields. Yet they still fail to grasp the fundamental truth. Resonance through storm observed. They seek to dominate quantum forces rather than work in harmony with them. It is like trying to fight a river rather than flowing with it. Admiral Morrison nodded. And that's still their weakness. Elena, show them the new data from Project Synthesis. Elena pulled up another holographic display, this one showing the results of their latest research. We've been studying the quantum echoes left behind by Ziraxian attacks. Their dark energy technology operates on principles similar to what we once theorized about quantum tunneling. But instead of working with quantum probability, they forced their way through. Harmony in discord completed the thought, its crystal facets pulsing with understanding, creating micro-tears in space-time itself. Inefficient, dangerous. Exactly, Elena continued. But that gave us an idea. What if we could use our quantum crystal matrices to heal these tears? Not just defend against their attacks, but actually restore the quantum fabric they're damaging. The display shifted to show a new configuration of their defensive systems. The quantum crystal matrices had been refined, their patterns now incorporating what Elena's team called quantum repair harmonics. When the Ziraxians tore through spacetime with their weapons, these harmonics would naturally seal the breaches, using the enemy's own energy to strengthen the quantum fabric. It's like a cosmic immune system, Elena explained. The more they attack, the stronger the quantum fabric becomes. And the stronger it becomes, the harder they must fight against the very nature of spacetime, Admiral Morrison finished. But will it be enough? They're attacking smaller targets now, civilian outposts that don't have access to our most advanced defenses. As if in response to her concerns, the station's alert system activated. Multiple Ziraxian signatures detected, the AI announced. Approaching the Lunar Defense Station from multiple vectors. They're testing our new home defense grid, Morrison realized. Elena, is the quantum repair system ready? Theoretically, Elena replied, already moving to her station. But we haven't tested it under full combat conditions. The universe tests all theories, resonance through storm chimed, interfacing with the station's crystal matrix. Let us see if harmony can truly heal chaos. The Ziraxian attack came in waves, each ship using a slightly different configuration of their dark energy weapons. They had learned from their defeats, attacking from multiple angles, varying their quantum frequencies to prevent easy harmonization. But the new defense system responded in ways they couldn't have predicted. As each dark energy beam tore through spacetime, the quantum repair harmonics activated. The very fabric of space seemed to shimmer as the crystal matrices worked to heal the damage, each repair making the local quantum field more resilient. Energy expenditure is rising exponentially, Elena reported, watching the Ziraxians' weapons struggle against the strengthening quantum fabric. They're having to use more and more power to achieve the same effect. The station's crystal matrix pulsed with complex patterns as it coordinated the repair harmonics. Where the Ziraxians created discord, the system restored harmony. Where they tore reality, it healed it. The space around the moon began to glow with quantum effects visible to the naked eye, a testament to the forces being manipulated. Fascinating. Harmony in discord observed. The quantum fabric retains a memory of the repairs. Each attack makes it stronger, more resistant to similar disruptions. The Ziraxian commander's transmission carried a note of frustration. What manner of defense is this? You cannot simply repair spacetime itself. Actually, we can, Elena replied. Because we're not fighting against it, we're working with it. The universe itself rejects your methods. The battle continued, but its outcome was becoming clear. The Ziraxians found their weapons requiring more and more energy to penetrate the strengthened quantum fabric, while the repair harmonics worked with increasing efficiency. Finally, their dark energy cores approaching critical levels. They were forced to retreat. They'll analyze this encounter, Morrison warned. Try to find ways around it. Let them, Elena said, studying the aftermath readings. Each attempt teaches us more about quantum repair. We're not just defending ourselves anymore. We're learning to heal the very fabric of space. The holographic display showed the quantum fabric around Earth's moon, now strengthened and resilient. The Ziraxians' weapons had literally made their target stronger, creating a defense that would only become more effective with each attack. Perhaps this is the true victory. Resonance through storm chimed softly. Not the ability to withstand destruction, but the power to heal what others would break. As the alert status returned to normal, Elena couldn't help but smile at the irony. The Ziraxians, in their quest for dominance, had driven two very different species to discover something profound. That the strongest defense wasn't a bigger weapon or a tougher shield, but the ability to work in harmony with the fundamental forces of the universe itself. A year after the Battle of Earth's moon, the Ziraxian High Command launched their final gambit. Their fleet, now thousands strong, emerged from dark energy corridors throughout the Sol system. But they found something unexpected waiting for them. The space around Earth rippled with quantum effects, myriad crystal matrices working in perfect harmony with human innovation. Every planet, moon, and asteroid had been incorporated into a vast defensive network that Dr. Elena Santos called the Quantum Symphony. They've committed their entire fleet, Admiral Morrison observed from the Hyperion's bridge, now transformed into a nexus of human-Mirian cooperation, just as we predicted. Elena nodded, monitoring the quantum field readings. They think they found a way to overwhelm our quantum repair harmonics, but they don't understand what we've really built here. The Ziraxian Grand Fleet approached in a formation that spoke of absolute confidence. Their ships had evolved into nightmarish configurations of obsidian and crystal, dark energy weapons pulsing with power that could shatter planets. Your defenses cannot withstand our combined might, the Ziraxian High Commander transmitted. Surrender the Crystal Singers, and your world will be spared. You still don't understand, Morrison replied calmly. Show them, Elena. Show them what harmony really means. Elena activated the Quantum Symphony. Every celestial body in the solar system began to pulse with crystalline energy. The quantum fabric of space itself came alive with patterns of impossible beauty. Each planet, each moon, each tiny asteroid became a note in a vast cosmic orchestra. The solar system itself joins our song. Resonance through storm chimed, its crystalline form blazing with light as it conducted the symphony. Every gravitational field, every magnetic interaction, every quantum probability. The Zyraxians fired their first volley, enough dark energy to reduce Earth to atoms. But as their weapons struck the quantum field, something extraordinary happened. The energy didn't dissipate or reflect. It became part of the symphony. Impossible, the Zyraxian commander transmitted. Our weapons, you're using them to power your defenses. Not just power them, Elena explained, watching the quantum patterns shift and evolve. Your energy becomes part of the harmony. The more you attack, the stronger the symphony becomes. You're not fighting us anymore. You're fighting the fundamental nature of reality itself. The Zyraxian fleet launched wave after wave of attacks, each more powerful than the last. But the quantum symphony absorbed every blast, every tear in space-time, transforming destruction into creation. The quantum fabric around Earth grew stronger, more complex, more beautiful. Your weapons are impressive, Morrison transmitted to the increasingly desperate Zyraxians. But you never learned the most important lesson. The universe itself favors harmony over discord. Harmony in discord's crystal form pulsed with understanding. They thought they could dominate quantum forces through strength alone. But quantum mechanics isn't about force. It's about probability, possibility, and harmony. The quantum symphony reached its crescendo. Every planet in the solar system pulsed in perfect resonance, creating quantum interference patterns that made dark energy weapons impossible to maintain. Zyraxian ships began to lose power as their own energy was drawn into the symphony, their forced quantum tunneling rendered ineffective by spacetime itself. Listen, Elena urged the Zyraxian commander. Listen to the music of the spheres. This is what you could be part of if you'd only learn to work with the universe instead of trying to dominate it. For a moment, the battle hung in perfect balance. Then, remarkably, a single Zyraxian ship broke formation. Its dark energy signature changed, attempting to match the quantum harmonics rather than fight against them. Then another followed, and another. The younger ones understand. Resonance through storm chimed softly. They feel a harmony calling to them. The Zyraxian High Commander's final transmission carried both rage and disbelief. What have you done to our fleet? We showed them a better way, Morrison replied. The same choice we're offering you now. Join the symphony, or continue fighting against the very nature of existence. The universe itself has already chosen the victor. Throughout the solar system, more and more Zyraxian ships powered down their weapons, their crews awakening to a fundamental truth that humanity and the Mirians had discovered together. True power came not from domination, but from cooperation, not just with other species, but with the very fabric of reality itself. The quantum symphony played on, its harmonies now incorporating the reformed Zyraxian ships. Those who refused to adapt found their dark energy weapons useless, their ships drifting powerless in space. The battle ended not with destruction, but with transformation. It's beautiful, Elena whispered, watching the quantum patterns dance across her display. We didn't just defend Earth. We showed them a whole new way of existing. The true victory, harmony in discord chimed, is not in defeating an enemy, but in turning them into partners in the great dance of existence. As the solar system settled into its new harmony, Elena realized they had achieved something far beyond mere military victory. They had proven that the combination of human creativity and Mirian wisdom could not only defend against destruction, but transform it into something greater. The quantum symphony became a model for galactic civilization, a proof that different species, working in harmony with each other and the universe itself, could achieve things that no amount of force or dominance could match. And somewhere in the vast cosmic dance, the first notes of a new era were beginning to play.